Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News, the show that may or may not be 5 minutes. Today in the news, it's Friday. Let's start with something fun. Detective Pikachu 2 is coming, at least according to LinkedIn, which is, as you know, a very reliable source. But it does look like Development Division senior programmer Jonathan Murphy finished up work on Detective Pikachu 2 and now is working on some other unannounced project. Yes, the news is that a division development programmer, whatever the hell that is, something far above my pay grade, is done working on Detective Pikachu 2, and the internet is like, ooh! And so, yeah, I don't know, it's kind of exciting, even if it isn't a real thing, but it's, you know, they did promise that they would finish the Detective Pikachu story, and we got word back in May 2019, that we'd finally get an ending that we definitely deserved. If you play the game, you know that ending that you were like, this is the ending? So it's nice that we actually get to have an ending to that story. And so we will all find out together when that comes out, but based on this LinkedIn profile, sooner rather than later. In other detective-based news, the GTA 6 hacker has been arrested by UK police, and because of course it is, it's a 17-year-old. Citing a source said to be familiar with the matter, journalist Matthew Keys claimed the arrest is related to the recent Rockstar hack and possibly an Uber security breach too. Police expected to give more details on arrest of 17-year-old Rockstar Games hacker later today. Possible statement coming from the FBI later this afternoon, he tweeted. According to Video Game Chronicle, Uber said it believes that its attacker or attackers are affiliated with the hacking group called Lapsus with a $sign? Boy, I hope I say that right. Don't hack me! Which has been increasingly active over the last year. The hacking collective, which may be based in South America, is thought to be responsible for a series of cyber attacks against major technology companies, including Nvidia, Microsoft, Ubisoft, Samsung, and Vodafone. So a 17-year-old, with or without help, managed to hack Uber and Rockstar. That is, I mean, look, obviously dude's got to do whatever time dude's got to do. But if you're like a white hat hacking firm, that's a thing, right? Like one of those like good guy hackers. If you're not hiring this kid on to work for you and like test security systems, what are you doing? I feel like that's a no-brainer. At 17, this dude is straight up like, hack the planet! Like, obviously you shouldn't go around just hacking people, but if you're gonna do it, you should be damn good at it, and I feel like this kid is. And of course, it wouldn't be a Friday without a story to remind you of the chilling vision of things to come, especially this week, when it all sort of ties together. On the Game Post, they noticed that Bungie published 6 new patents last week, all hinting at the game developer's desire to go mobile. The schematics and diagrams and information features things like mobile controls that allow a player to play on a touchscreen. As you can see from the pictures, it also has things like auto-aiming and swipe and drag, which is like a drag and drop system. All of this stuff, of course, comes off the partnership with NetEase, which I've talked about before in the past, and it goes back to the idea that more and more companies are partnering with NetEase or Tencent or whoever to make mobile games of big IP. Ubisoft literally said that is one of their objectives. Bungie's clearly doing it. We know Square Enix is doing it. A lot of companies are doing this. Now, I see this, like I think many of us do, as being another sort of how can we get money off the mobile market kind of scheme. But maybe we'll get some good games out of it, right? I mean, I guess we'll see how this one turns out. For now, we just have to wait. Speaking of waiting, I've been waiting to see whatever Crendor is going to talk about, because it's time for the Cren Minute.
Hello everybody, how's it going? It's me, Crendor, and welcome back to the Cren Minute, my once-a-week segment where I get to talk about whatever I want for a minute. This week, I'm talking about Twitch because it's been a big discussion, especially because of the revenue split, and I'm somebody who makes revenue from Twitch. Crazy. And obviously, it's only for the people that make over 100K, so it doesn't affect me. You know, sadly, I'm not driving around in my my Lamborghini, but it's one of the things where you give them an inch, they take a mile, right? So how often or how much is this going to happen, right? You know, that this happens and it's like, hey, we take away your Twitch Primes, we take away this, we take it, right? And it's why you never want to get attached to just one company. All the time people being like, bleed purple, yo, I'm not bleeding anything, all right? Well, actually, I could bleed blood, but it's normal blood. It's not purple blood, all right? And it just takes me back to TB. And I remember TB would tell us this years ago, right? He would always say, if you don't have at least 5 sources of income and this is your living, then you're doing it wrong, right? That's what he would tell us. And so it's for this reason alone, right? If you rely solely on Twitch and Twitch starts being shitty or goes down or whatever, that's it. And it's the same thing even with a game. If you're attached to one game and that game goes away, then you go away. And so you need to diversify all the platforms you're on. And, you know, it's a good way to go about your business if you do this online content creating. I'm doing the air quotes, but it didn't even show up on the thing. I've gone over a minute. It's fine. That's your Kren Minute.
Thanks, Crendor. All right, that's it for the show. Thanks so much for watching, listening. Whatever you're doing right now while this is on in the background is fine by me. I thank you for just clicking and, hey, give me a like while you're at it. You know, just give me a like while you're at it. And that's it for this week. But I'll see you next week for another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News.